This continent has suffered so much and continues to suffer because of imperialists. These imperialists have only one cliché in mind. Africa is the empire of slaves. This is how they see Africa. For them, Africans belong to them.
We realize that there are still some bad apples trying to play with time, perhaps. But we have spent 2 years raising awareness. I think at some point, the people themselves felt that we were raising too much awareness and it was time to take action. And from a certain point, we decided to take action.
Now, there is this speech of Ibrahim Traore that made the African leaders to tremble. They feared because Ibrahim Traore is one of the leaders that talks the reality, bold and unapologetic, raw and uncut. But you know, African leaders cannot do this, mostly from Kenya. They can't. Tanzania, they can't. You have seen some of the leaders are just quiet when things are boiling up in Africa. Some leaders are quiet when things are boiling up in the West. Some leaders are quiet when things are boiling up in the continent. They don't want to show support. They don't want to say they are on which side. But I'm so happy there are some leaders who have come out and said, you know what, we are in support of Ibrahim Traore. You know what, Ibrahim Traore is right on this. I have seen leaders like Paul Kagame coming out saying, you know what, he's right. I have seen leaders like Duma Boko. I have seen Ghanaian, John Mahama. But there's some leaders who fear. And this is one of that speech that made African leaders to say, whoa, we ain't working with Ibrahim Traore. We ain't working with him. Let's watch this video and then we'll come back.
This continent has suffered so much and continues to suffer because of imperialists. These imperialists have only one cliché in mind. Africa is the empire of slaves. This is how they see Africa. For them, Africans belong to them. Our lands belong to them. Our subsoil belongs to them. They have never been able to change the logic until today. This is deplorable. But how do they proceed? Unfortunately, it is since the 1960s that these 6,000 acres of independence have been given to Africa. They have just placed local valets at the head, according to them, of their sub-prefecture to be able to continue to feed them. These local valets, which we are going to call today the slaves of Salon, have other goals. They want to live like the master, to satisfy the master, and to do everything that the master dictates to them. They steal, they plunder our states, they bring everything to the master, and their wealth is kept with the master. They do everything to live like the master and always satisfy him. Do you know who these slaves of Salon are? Well, we are going to explain to you what they are. They are individuals who have no dignity, who have no morals, who have no personality. But the master slave has always known how to identify these individuals. They are always ready to betray their brother to satisfy the master. They have betrayed us since independence, and others continue to betray us to the benefit of their master. These individuals continue, against all odds, to help the master plunder Africa. They like to say it every year. In their economic polls, Burkina is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last. Very well, if we are as poor as they say. But when the time has come to take responsibility, we have asked this master to leave the place. Why don't they want to leave? When we take the case of Niger, for more than 40 years, some countries have been exploiting uranium to produce energy at home. From Ottawa to Paris, the streets are illuminated. It is the light. But in Niger, It is the darkness that has served us. When you go to our states, our soils are full of precious metals, such as gold. But often there is not even the slightest road accessible to reach the areas where they exploit gold, even less certain basic social services. This is why we have decided to revolt and take the fate of our countries into our own hands. There are many other examples, but when we decided so, we were approached by some saloon slaves to pass on the message of their master. Because they had created this kind of polymer chain that rises to the heads of our states to serve them. And we came to break the chain. And it is inconceivable for them. They approached us and asked us to enter the ranks to make the elite leave that must lead Africa. Because they have an elite formed and formatted that must follow, that is embedded in this chain. We refused to enter their ranks. And then the hostilities began. They have sent several mercenaries and trainers to our area. The agents have descended into the Sahel to carry out barbaric, cowardly attacks against our people, hoping to revolt them. In addition to these attacks on the ground, the attacks on communication, manipulation, and disinformation are full in their ranks. But the people of the Sahel have understood, and we will never be able to be manipulated again. They know where they come from, they know what they are doing, and they know where they are going. We will no longer allow this. People are awake, and people are fighting today, not for ourselves, but for future generations. And thank you all for the fight that has been fought. This will never make us cry. We will not tremble. We will fight. We will fight for real independence, for our freedom. Because to scare the people of the Sahel, these individuals have only 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights. Of course, their local values are only elected in a democratic, free and transparent process according to their values. What is more normal, that we want to impose this on ourselves, because it is they who dictate the rules. Very well, we have decided to take responsibility. Do you know why on June 26, 2023, when Niger decided to turn the page, the slaves of Salon and their masters got on the big horses? They put their local values forward and decided to wage a war against the Nigerian people. So we said, anyone who dares to take up arms against Niger will face us. Because we will wage a merciless war until the last drop of blood for anyone who dares to attack our states. This word, this decision we made yesterday, is current today and will be current tomorrow and forever. Thus, we acquired the AES on September 16, 2023, in a mutual defense architecture. But we felt it necessary to extend and therefore enlarge the AES architecture. What brings us together today must allow us to go to other areas in addition to defense, including finance and economy, infrastructure, health, education. In short, I pass. So I hope that this moment will be for us a story that we will write for the AES, but especially for Africa and for the whole world.
Que Dieu illumine tout un chacun de nous.
May God illuminate each and every one of us. May God inspire us in these tasks that are entrusted to us. And above all, that when we do all our work, that we have in mind only one thing:
l'intérêt suprême de nos populations.
The supreme interest of our people. On this, we pray once again, good God, that He accompanies us all in our different tasks,
qu'il protège nos combattants, qui, grâce à eux, nous
that He protects our fighters, who, thanks to them, allow us to sit here and exchange about the future of our states. So be grateful once again, Nigerian people. Be united and united, people of the AES, the homeland or death.
Welcome back. Now, one of the things that made some African leaders to run away, they ran away because Ibrahim Traore is talking about anti-Western rhetoric and sovereignty. Ibrahim Traore is against the Western narrative. It's against the Western influence. Now, these Western countries like USA, call it France, they are feeding some of the leaders. Some of these Western countries are the one running systems or running the parliaments or government in some countries in Africa. So these leaders cannot talk against them. Example, William Ruto is working or is in the middle of the altar boy. William Ruto is doing things we call the ball boy. William Ruto is doing what we call the choir member, singing the song of the Western powers. So he cannot associate himself with Ibrahim Traore. Some of the leaders who are not of the changer, most of these old leaders that are still on the neo-colonialism mind, they are still with the colonizer mind. They can't talk about that. And they have run away. They have run so much away from Ibrahim Traore. They do not want to associate themselves with Ibrahim Traore. For example, when Gaddafi was talking about the unity, when Gaddafi was talking about sending the Western influencers, there is no leader who supported. When he was killed, they said he was bad. But right now, some of the leaders who are coming up, I thank God I'm living at this time. I'm living at a time that I see leaders openly saying that, you know what? The whites are the problem. I'm so happy to live in an era that a leader, African leader, somewhere in Botswana, somewhere in Burkina Faso, somewhere in Mali, somewhere in Rwanda, will stand up and say, we are tired. We are tired with your shenanigans. We are tired with the white influencing. Because what we get from the white people, or what we get from the white system or the colonizer, is nothing positive. It's poverty, endless sickness, poor road system, poor health, poor education system. That's what we get. And what they get from us, it's richness. They get the resources. They are here to eat from our soil. They are digging everywhere. But they cannot build a road to connect where they are going to dig. They cannot build infrastructure, roads to connect where they are doing mining. They cannot build hospitals or schools around where they are doing mining. They are polluting environment. But they don't care. And that's one of the things that Ibrahim Traore is against it. But African leaders are running away. Because of what? Because they are for the system. Because Traore often speaks strongly against Western influence, especially France, and calls for full African sovereignty. And these opposition groups across Africa, they are in support of them, so they can't do that. Number two, as a young military officer who took power via coup, Traore promotes radical change. It's not about 4 years change. Radical change is about speaking today, tomorrow we act. You say we want this today, tomorrow we do. And we do it perfectly. Now, some of African leaders, they are calling themselves democratic leaders. They want democracy. Which democracy? We cannot say we want democracy and when change take 10 years to come. Just building maybe a 10 kilometer or 15 kilometer roads take a lot of years. For example, let me take example of Kenya. From Mombasa to Nairobi is about 530 kilometers. Now, just building Mombasa to Nairobi road, this road is connecting two big cities in Kenya, Mombasa City and Nairobi City. This road is connecting a very vital city in Africa, in East Africa, Mombasa Port. Mombasa Port is feeding Uganda. Mombasa Port is feeding Rwanda, Burundi. You know, a lot of goods are coming via the port of Mombasa. So all the money is in Mombasa and connecting the biggest city, one of the most growing city in Africa, which is Nairobi. But building that 530 kilometers road from Mombasa to Nairobi, being a very good road, will take ages. Since I was born up to now, we are still talking about building a major road connecting these two cities. See what's happening in Ghana. They have a problem of electricity going, owning and offing. Black Americans are coming in Ghana. They are complaining, oh, electricity is bad. Now, you want to tell me, as Ghanaian country, the government of Ghana, resolving this issue once and for all, how many days will it take? No, how many days or months or years will it take? But Ghana are still complaining. This government comes and goes. And they be in power 5 years, or 4 years, 4 years. It's because of this, what we call democracy. They are telling you, don't build roads. Don't do that for those people, because we want them to stay like that so that they can continue bowing down to us. And that's what Ibrahim Traore don't want. So these leaders who are trembling, they fear when they hear Ibrahim Traore talk, is because they are for the West. They are the puppets and they are feeding the West. They want to make the master smile so they cannot go against the master, and that's why they tremble. But the youths of Africa, we see, we read. Thanks for information we are getting online. Thanks for the people who are here educating us. Thanks for this platform that we are seeing the new future. Tell me what you think in the comment section about this video. Until next episode, peace out.